I'm Adversaricon, also known as the Beast or Human the Hoof Beast. And today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by Dream Theater, Parasomnia. This album came out less than a week ago on the 7th of February 2025, and it features the return of Mike Portnoy behind the drum kit. So what I'm going to do is take you through the entire album, intros and everything all the way through. Before I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I got into Dream Theater, just real quick. The first thing was, I remember in, I think it was 91 or 92, there was a lot of hype in Metal Maniacs magazine even featured Dream Theater. And they were hyping up the album. So I went and bought the album. I loved Rush. And there were references to Rush in that. And I thought, well, okay, I'll check it out. So I got the album and I didn't like it. Too much keyboard. I didn't like the way keyboard was used. I struggled with James LaBrie's voice. Although I like Geddy Lee's, I didn't like the ballads stuff. I just didn't find it to be quite as interesting. So I didn't really listen to him anymore. Then I was in a band in, I think it was 2010 to 2012, and it was a progressive metal instrumental band. And the guitarist, Kenny Benally, he loves Dream Theater. And he always talked about Dream Theater. I mean, not all the time, but we all knew Dream Theater was his favorite band. And I still didn't want to listen to him. I was just like, God, I just can't get past the ballads and James LaBrie's voice, didn't like it. And so I moved to Saudi Arabia, left the band, moved to Saudi Arabia, and I kind of have an addiction for buying CDs. And so we went to a CD store in Faisalia Mall in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I hadn't bought a CD in a while, and I was itching to buy a CD, and the only one that I thought I could taste or stand the taste of was the latest Dream Theater album that had come out a few months before. So I bought it, put it in, listened to it, and I loved it. I loved all of the Mike Mangini era albums except for The Astonishing. Did not like that. It bored the hell out of me. I was super disappointed in that album because the one before that was the self-titled self-titled Dream Theater. I thought that album was amazing. So then I went back and I listened to all of Dream Theater's albums, and I loved every one of them, except for I still didn't like The Astonishing very much. So when Mike Portnoy came back in, I wasn't totally hyped. I wasn't like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so fucking awesome. But Mike Portnoy, I've watched his Drumeo videos and just watched the interviews with him. I really like him as a person. He's a lot of fun, super down to earth, super humble. I really like Mike Portnoy quite a bit. So anyways, let's get into the review. You've been waiting, but I wanted to just let you know that I wasn't always a Dream Theater fan. I had to come back to them because I was put off by them right away, and I told you exactly why, but here I am now. I really love Dream Theater. So they start off the album with Into the Arms of Morpheus. This song is 5 minutes, 22 seconds long, and it is an instrumental. It starts off really heavy. I know they had been talking about John Petrucci getting an 8-string guitar, and that just hasn't come out yet. He does have 7-string Majesties, but I've been waiting to hear this 8-string. And this sounds like an 8-string to me. I haven't had that confirmed, but it's really fucking heavy. And it's heavy until about 4 minutes into the instrumental. And once they hit the 4th minute, they go into some kind of ballad, kind of soaring solo stuff that John does. But I really like the instrumental. It's great. I'm never going to skip through it. I will always listen to the instrumental. So I rated the instrumental. I didn't give it a rating, but it's like 4 out of 5. It's really good. I look forward to listening to it more and more. Second track is my favorite track on the album, and that is Night Terror. Night Terror runs 9 minutes and 55 seconds long. So this is a pretty long song, and there's longer than that on this album. Get ready for them. I gave this song a 5 out of 5. I thought this was just like a perfect song to me. I love everything about it. James didn't stink or shit the bed like I think he does sometimes. Stuff just doesn't fit sometimes. When he's trying to like overpower and be real heavy with his voice is clean and beautiful. It sounds like forced and strained sometimes. That's one of my criticisms for James, and that I've also heard other people say as well. One of the things that John Petrucci does in this one is he does a lot of kind of ringing out notes where he'll like an arpeggio, and he'll let the last couple, 2-3 notes kind of ring out in there. I love when he does that. Or he'll just kind of pull on the top 3 higher strings and let those ring out at the end of a riff, and I really like when he does that. This is a great attacking riff like in the beginning. It's very typical Dream Theater. It's really, really heavy. And it's full of variety, full of all kinds of time changes, kind of solos that are kind of soaring at times, that kind of are on kind of the ballad side that John does for a lot of the songs, and fucking love it. Everything they did on this was wonderful. This album also is produced by Andy Sneed. I love the way he produces albums. I don't want him to change. I'm glad that when you choose Andy Sneed to produce your album, you know what you're going to get every time. The way that he mic'd the drums, or whomever mic'd the drums, Mike Portnoy's drums sound amazing. I can hear everything in it. This is an album I also recommend. Listen to it with headphones or a blaring, amazing stereo system. But headphones is what I prefer, so you can hear everything that's going on in there. So that's the second song. The third song is A Broken Man. It comes in at 8 minutes, 29 seconds. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I love the fucking solo. I think it's amazing. Oh, no. It was the solo in this one that I did not like, because the solo doesn't fit the rest of the song. He goes into like this blues ragtime stuff. I don't like that bit. And also Jordan Rudess also does that crap and makes it like a blues song. There's times that Jordan Rudess in the album also has like organ going, and I just don't think the organ fits well. I don't like it. It's more annoying than anything else. This song comes out of the gate really heavy, has a lot of chugging. The vocal refrain is a nice contrast in here. It was a joy to listen to, minus the bluesy ragtime stuff that they get into. Just doesn't fit at all. I don't like that part of it. That's the only reason why I took away half a star on it, because that's going to annoy me every time. Maybe it really deserves a 4 out of 5. It probably deserves a 4 out of 5 for that. The next song is Dead Asleep. This is also a 5 out of 5 star song for me. Comes in at 11 minutes and 6 seconds. So you can see all these songs are long because Dream Theater is pouring everything into it. All kinds of stuff, signature Dream Theater stuff is here. Every song kind of breaks into a ballad a little bit, like in a solo sense of some way, but they're all really, really good. So in A Broken Man, let's see, no, we've already done, we're talking about Dead Asleep, sorry about that. It has a flute in the beginning, which I think is unnecessary. It's kind of like when they put saxophone in. I couldn't give a shit about that. I don't really want it in my rock and my prog metal. But anyways, they've got it in there. It's unnecessary, but it doesn't annoy me. It's pretty. It's kind of mild. Then it has really heavy guitar, and then the soaring kind of soloing that John Petrucci does. It kind of sounds like John might be using an 8-string guitar for Dead Asleep. I really like the keyboard solo in this, and you'll hardly ever hear that from me. I'm not a keyboard person. I really don't like keyboards, but Jordan Rudess does a great job with this one. And when he's fast and he's going along with the guitar and kind of confusing me for that, I really like that. There's so much variety in this song as well, and they have all kinds of time to put that variety in there. Again, that song is Dead Asleep. Moving on right along, we are now to Midnight Messiah. Midnight Messiah clocks in at 7 minutes and 58 seconds. This is almost an 8-minute song. This is my least favorite song on the entire album. I just don't like what James LaBrie came up with Midnight Messiah. But the instruments and everything is perfect. I love all of that, but I just don't like what James LaBrie did for this one. It sounds like he's forcing stuff. I don't like the rock vocals. The refrain sounds good though. That's when it kind of chills out, or maybe it's a bridge. But the parts that I don't like is for the verse and for the chorus that James LaBrie came up. So this is on him. I just don't care for this. I've heard some people say this is their favorite song. For me, it's not though. And I've heard another guy say that it was not his, or that it was not his favorite song either. He had issue. I don't like the organ on this. This is the song that has the organ in it. I just don't think it fits. It's kind of icky to me. Don't care for that, but the guitars and everything else just kind of overrides it anyways. There's many, many great parts of the song. Once again, a lot of good variety. All the guitar work, the drum work, bass work is really good. Oh, forgot to talk about that. Where in the hell is John Myung's bass? You can hardly hear the bass throughout the whole album. There's a couple of places where you can hear it okay, but for most of the album, this is what I don't like what Andy Sneed did with this, or whomever made the decisions. John may have done it, and maybe they do it because the bass maybe competes with the double kicks or the toms or something like that, or the lower guitar chugging. I don't know, but for whatever reason, you really have to listen in to hear John Myung's bass. He's a great bassist. He's doing good stuff, but you really have to listen hard for it, and I don't like that. I thought it would have been heavier, make it a punchy bass tone, and let it fit in just like Rush did. Geddy's bass always kind of cut through the mix, and I really miss that. Then they go on to a track called Are We Dreaming, and it's basically just keyboards. It's some sort of a set the scenario, set the mood kind of thing. I will fast forward through this every time. There is nothing interesting. It is a waste of time keyboard crap. I don't like that, so that will always get fast forwarded through. Then they have their first ballad and their only ballad on the album, which is Bend the Clock. That comes in at 7 minutes and 24 seconds. I gave this song a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a decent ballad, but it's a ballad. And, you know, that's something with Dream Theater. If you don't like Dream Theater because of the ballads, just kind of stick with them. And I kind of mostly tolerate them. I'm not a sappy person. I don't like the sappy type of songwriting that goes in with those. But it's there. It's okay. It's not super annoying or anything, but I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars for Bend the Clock. It starts off gently. It does get a little bit more interesting and heavier as it goes, but this is the type of stuff that James LaBrie's voice is made for. This is where he's at his best. If the song is heavy and he's trying to force it and trying to sound more gnarly, it just doesn't sound right, James. Sorry about that, but that's just my opinion on it. I still love Dream Theater though, and I think he does a lot of great stuff for him. The last song on the album is a whopper. It is a long song. It is the Shadow Man Incident, and it comes in at 19 minutes and 32 seconds. What a long song. But it's amazing. The Shadow Man Incident is a song that I would give 5 out of 5 stars. It's really good, really long. It's like Dream Theater crammed everything Dream Theater into one song, and here it is, and I love it. I'll listen to the whole thing. Love to listen to it with headphones as well. Well, it kind of does have a little bit of a BS keyboard intro that just doesn't really fit. I guess that could go. I guess I'm contradicting myself. But once I get beyond this damn keyboard crap, then the song is great. Has a really heavy riff and then a lot of marching that kind of sounds like songs that Dream Theater's already written before. This dun 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 dun. Like you'll hear this stuff. And Mike Portnoy, I just watched an interview on Drumeo. Mike talks about that, and it actually, and he said what the band thought is, you know, we're going to come up with some stuff that people are going to say, oh yeah, that sounds like that album from way back. And yes, they did. This song has so much variety and it's super epic sounding. Like this is like Dream Theater, like really showing off who they are, presenting their identity to the world. There's a part in this song that reminds me a lot of Phantom of the Opera. So when you listen to this song, it's the Shadow Man Incident. It's the long song, last track on the album. Tell me if you don't hear something that sounds very similar to Phantom of the Opera. Again, they kind of go into this kind of ballad section in the song because it's such a long song, and it reminds me of Phantom of the Opera. There is some piano crap that I don't like at minute 13 that I wish could just go away. This sounds like straight up like orchestra piano that I could just do away with. Yeah, I guess maybe this is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's probably not a 5 out of 5 because I've had a couple things to complain about, but still love it. I will never fast forward through this thing, but really like what they've done. And as a whole, I would give this album 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you, Dream Theater, for this. One thing I will say, and I will give you this, Dream Theater, fuck you for tickets being $225 for to go see your show. That's why I didn't go see you. Yeah, I'm not super rich, but I just think of all the Dream Theater fans that really had to scrape. I listen to all kinds of music. I go to all kinds of shows. And when you pull a stunt like that, $225 for the cheap seats way up in the back, no thanks. I'm not going to do that crap. You guys already have enough money, but that shit kind of pisses me off. But anyways, back to the good stuff. I would highly recommend that you guys listen to this record. I love it. Listen to it with headphones and really get into it. If you're a metal musician, there's something in there for you throughout. Like it's really heavy, really good. Until next time, this is Beast Metal Review out.